What is up, everybody? I am officially live. And if you are new to the lives, what I like to do is have an open discussion / Q&A section for everybody that's on here. I try to keep it around 30 minutes, but typically I go for much longer than that because sometimes the questions and things that happen, they're really good. And I usually tend to stay on until 45 minutes to an hour. But today I definitely want to not go on as long only because I'm feeling a little under the weather. My birthday was on Monday. What's up, Frankie Jr.? And after my birthday, I spent the entire day yesterday in bed, just recovering my body because last week I was up in Portland with Nomadic Customs and Benchmark Vehicles and Light Harvest Solar, and honestly, it was 3 days of just nonstop, like just going hard. So I really think that took a lot out of me, and I got sick. It's no big deal. It's not what everybody think it is, but thank you for the people that said happy birthday. I appreciate it. It was on April 26th. I'm the big old 38, if anybody was really curious. I just asked you a question through Instagram, LOL. You did, Timothy. I will have to take a look at it. Did I respond to your question? Is the bigger question. I doubt I did, but maybe if you want to say it here, I'll say the answer live for you, Timothy, or Tim, whichever you prefer. April babies are the best. They definitely are. I'm a late April baby, so I'm a little bit different than most April babies. Did you guys see my shirt in the thumbnail? My sweatshirt? I got this in the mail. I watched that documentary, and I wanted to support the Blockbuster here, actually, where I am in Bend. And I bought one of their sweatshirts offline. I had to. I mean, I don't even care. I would have spent more money on it, honestly. I probably would have dropped 100 on it. But I mean, I freaking love this thing. It's actually really soft. I mean, I'm giving them free publicity right now. But I bought it off of their website, off of their Blockbuster website. It was super nice. Anything I can do to support the last remaining Blockbuster. It brought back a lot of feelings. I walked in there and it brought back a lot of interesting feelings for me. Because most of you guys on here remember Blockbuster's growing up, right? You would kill for a Blockbuster family video. They are amazing. Oh, happy birthday to your son, Jamie. You're 14 and you love van life, but don't have a van or the money. But if I get the money, then my van would be great. 100%. I love that. We all start somewhere, so don't beat yourself up too badly. You're 14. You got so many years in front of you. I didn't even go into my first van until I was like 33, I want to say, somewhere in there. And, if you've been watching this since the beginning, I'm 38 now. So can you imagine what it's been like for me? If I could, I probably would have gone. If I could go back in time, which I can't, nobody ever can. Nobody can. I wish I started this when I was like 21, 22, 23, somewhere in there. It would have been really nice. Your 20s is amazing. Timothy, there's only one left. There's a Netflix documentary on it. There's only one remaining Blockbuster, and that's here in Bend, Oregon. If you get a chance, and if you're through the Bend area, I highly recommend stopping in and just seeing, getting all those nostalgic feels, If I was closer, you'd bring me some soup. I appreciate it. Can you hear that I've also been on the phone a lot today. I had some clients. I talked to a friend of mine that's also getting into van life. So, I've been on the phone a lot, so my voice is a little raspy. You get that dope goodie, the hoodie, I'm assuming you meant, at the last Blockbuster. I went in there. They didn't have my size. I'm a big guy. So they only had, I think they had mediums and XLs, and I'm a large. So I had to order this one online. But yes, I got it after watching that documentary on Netflix. because I wanted to support them because I feel that they deserve it. I fell in love with the GM of that store. I forget her name now. But I wanted to meet her and I didn't get a chance. I hope to meet her before I leave Bend. Don't you feel like that was half the fun? Going in and asking someone who watched all the movies to give you options on a low key awesome movies. Yeah, I actually never did that. They talked about that in the documentary. I never did that when I was. I never did that. At least in my hometown Blockbuster. I don't know. I just kind of went in. You know what? It was more of a date night thing for me. I used to go in there with my date or my girlfriend or whatever, and we used to go and pick out a movie, and we go home and watch it. It was like get some popcorn, and it was a total like Friday night high school thing. At least for me, it was Saturday night, whatever. You can get this streaming TV app for like $39.95. Ugh. I lived in my truck for 3 years. I've been stationed for 18 months. Wow. Is it Sharon? I don't know. Was it Sharon? Was that her name? Anybody know her name from the documentary? If your shirt size is large, then then I'm the Pope. Countdown. Okay. All right. I guess I have to. I am a large. Are you debating TT? I know you're not trolling me. You're a loyal follower. Um, are you saying I'm not a large? Are you saying I'm bigger than a large? Or are you saying that I'm smaller than a large? I don't understand what you were saying. Well, Sons Vlogs. You said hi to all or hey to all. Hey, how are you all? I don't know. How are you? Well. I can't wait to get back out. Where are you stationed? Because you said you were stationed for the last 18 months. Matt B, what up? Three time. You think I'm a 3XL? You thought I was a 3XL? I'm a big guy, but I'm not a 3XL, my man or girl. I want to say I'm a regular size guy. I'm about 180 pounds, 5'8". So 3XL. Maybe you see me in person, you'll understand that I maybe carry weight well. I don't know. But I wouldn't lie to you. I'm pretty transparent on here. But I mean, that's almost kind of a troll comment saying that I'm huge like that, 3XL. Oh well. Whatever. You have to do some work. Cheers. Hope to meet you on the road. I will be on the road. Also, yeah, I guess in my title I actually said what I'm going to be doing. I actually wrote out in an email today, like all of the festivals and events that I want to get to. Officially I'm going to Van Fest in Utah. That's more of a festival. San Diego, I'm going to Tiny Fest, which is exciting. No Man's Van, what up? What's up from Texas? And then I want to get to Expo West, which is out in Arizona. I want to go to Mountain Expo, which is in like right outside of Denver. And then I want to go to Descend on Bend if I get a chance to. I want to go to Overland Van Expo in Tahoe, but they have a bunch of Overland Van Expo has a bunch of different events. They have one in Tahoe, Big Bear. Big Bear would actually be a good one too. Hood River. They have one in Bend. So there's a whole bunch of good ones. Dylan. I just went to their website. But yeah, I want to get to those. Thank you, Well Sonzy. Please hit that like button. Just saw you in a PBS story. Yeah, I was actually in that. I mean, my name was. It was my footage, believe it or not, that was in there. Nomadic Customs was in it. Bob Wells was in it. Yes, he was also in the Oscar-winning picture that was just announced on Sunday, which was Nomadland. I haven't watched it. I watched a trailer. Oh my goodness, what a dark movie! But I'm assuming the directing and the actress, I forget her name, Frances McDormand or something like that. She is a phenomenal actress. I can't wait to watch it. I have Hulu, so it's on Hulu. I might watch it on Hulu. There's like, this is bothering you guys because it's bothering me. There we go. Anyways, Bob Wells was in that, and Bob Wells was in that PBS documentary or PBS story that I was in, that my footage was in. I technically wasn't in it. I was a little upset about it. I was a little hurt by that. Come on, guys. Put me in something. Put me in some good stuff. I'd like to be in some more stuff. I'd like to get my acting chops back at it. Let's do this. Timothy, you asked Nomadic Customs, how much are they? Are their vans? Because I want to go from North Carolina to California. Well, Nomadic Customs is actually in Portland, Oregon, and I would say that they're reasonably priced and compared to a lot of the other van builders that I know for their work that they do. A lot of van builders, and I've been meaning to do a video about this, but a lot of van builders are not fully custom, whereas Nomadic Customs is. A lot of van builders are going to give you options, ABCD option, and they're going to tell you that you have to go with one of those options. Nomadic Customs doesn't do that. They're like, hey, if you want something crazy, he'll do it for you, or his team will do it for you. Whereas, and that's why it takes a little bit longer with them. Like a full-on custom van build takes probably an extra month and a half, 2 months longer than a templated van. But they can range. It really depends on everything that you choose for a van. But the Nomadic Customs builds can range anywhere between 80,000 low end to 200,000, and that goes for any van builder right now. And you're getting what you pay for. I will stand behind that for sure. You've shown some beautiful builds. I appreciate that. Thank you. How do I feel about 80/20? I like it a lot. I used it recently in a Jeep Gladiator that I built out with into an overland rig. I do like the 80/20. I would rather having somebody weld up a frame over 80/20. I used 80/20. But if I was to redo everything, I would probably I'd probably hire a fabricator to weld up everything. The reason I use the 80/20 is because I don't know how to weld. But I do like the rigidity of 80/20 or aluminum for that matter, especially if you're going to be going down bumpy roads and doing all that sort of thing. Using 80/20 is really, really cool. But if you're trying to save weight, it's not going to save you weight. You still got to face it. You still got the framing of 80/20 and then facing it with wood is still going to weigh the same as 3/4 inch ply. So keep that in mind. I would love to build identical carcasses, cabinetry out of 80/20 frame and 3/4 inch plywood frame, and then weigh them both because they're probably relatively close in weight, if I had to guess. I love your videos. Just purchased. Oh, thank you. And you just purchased a Ram Pro Master. Congratulations. Hope to see you someday on the beach. I hope to see anybody on the beach. I love the beach. I love the mountains more, but the beach is really nice. You want a hippie like man? Nothing wrong with that. I'm about to show a Nomadic Customs build that was very, very like 1970s vintage with modern touches. It was really, really nice, and I can't wait to show that off. I showed a little bit on my my stories on YouTube as well as Instagram stories and things like that. Lots of TV watching. Very nice. I love that Nomadic one because even though we now know we're doing something special is worthwhile, I agree with you 100%. Who doesn't miss Blockbuster? I'm just reading over comments right now, guys. Who do you think that the 49ers will pick number 3 in the draft? I love that. I do. Finally, anybody wants to talk sports. That's a great question. I am going to watch. That's tomorrow. Oh my goodness. I'm going to watch the draft for sure tomorrow. I believe it's 5:00 Eastern time. If I had to guess, one of the quarterbacks to come off the board. Probably somebody to back up Jimmy Garoppolo until the following year. So they're probably going to sit a quarterback for a year, and that's why I think they're going to pick a quarterback at number 3 overall. I'd be really surprised if they didn't, but I also wouldn't be that surprised if they didn't pick a quarterback. They may go with an offensive lineman or to protect their quarterback. But we'll see. I'm really excited from the 3rd pick on to like the rest of the first round. It's kind of like a crapshoot in my opinion. I don't think that nobody really knows who's going to be picking what. But that was a great question. I do like a good sports question. I appreciate that. Are you a 49ers fan? FEMA camp? I will try to. Hey, Tony, what's going on? Tony, like Valet Tony, what up, buddy? I miss you, man. I miss you. Let's see here. You want some real questions? Yeah, Bernard, give me some real questions if you want to shoot them my way. I'm usually pretty darn honest. If they're crazy questions, I'll just ignore them. Just FYI, just because there's no need for that, right? Let's see here. Oh, it's 5 p.m. Pacific time. Thank you for telling me that. What is my favorite cheese? Probably American. Probably American cheese. I'm not a vegan. Probably American cheese. I don't put cheese on much, to be honest with you. I like cheese pizza, and I like putting cheese on burgers. Maybe drizzle a little cheddar cheese and maybe mozzarella. I don't know. Any cheese is pretty good. That was a good question, though, Matt. Appreciate that. I've had a Blockbuster gift card on my desk for 15 years. I wonder if they'll take that. Dave, the Uber slave. I wonder if this Blockbuster will take that. You have to check in with them. This sweatshirt, I think, was like $40. And then plus shipping, which is weird because I could have just picked it up at the store, but they're out of my size. Uh-oh. Fema, you're a draft junkie? So, all right, I'll ask you, who do you think they're picking at number 3? I seriously love the old VW RV. So do I, actually. If you ever find one, I'll grab it. I'll keep my eyes open. How do you still have that going? Do you have any tips for someone who can get a hold of a Transit, Sprinter, or ProMaster, as they are a bit hard to find where I live, which is in Europe? I have no idea how it works over in Europe. I'm assuming you have dealerships just like we have here in the States. So I would say something to a dealership. I'm sure there's used vehicles websites that you have in Europe. If anybody is from Europe on the live right now, please comment so this person can read it, because I think that would be I think that would help them. And by the way, the comment right underneath that, do I know you, Tony? Yeah, if it's the Tony that I think it is, he's one of my best friends, honestly. And I've known him for almost 20 years. So you can't speak ill of Tony. The growth of DIY kits might just go with Goal Zero Bluetti instead of the more. Yeah, and a total good argument. What do you think? Yeah, and again, there's nothing wrong with doing it that way, using a big old Goal Zero or Bluetti. I think the Bluettis have a slight edge on that. Also, Light Harvest Solar is coming out with one that's very, very Bluetti comparison wise, and they're calling it the Light Harvest Solar Sun Catcher. I think going with those wired correctly is a really good way to save a boatload of money. It's about a third of the cost if you were to build your own, or have it professionally built. I guess the only thing that's really different is you can, if something goes wrong inside of your system, you can replace that one piece. Where if something goes wrong in an all-in-one unit, it's a little bit harder to replace, right? However, those all-in-ones, they usually, come with a pretty good warranty on them. Have you ever used SketchUp to map out your van builds? Yes, I only use SketchUp. And do you prefer a cow or goat? I prefer cow. By the way, great name, Jason Alexander. If anybody knows Seinfeld. Um, Bernard, you asked me a good question, and I'm not a country guy, so I actually can't really answer that one. But you asked Blake Shelton or Luke Bryan, who's the country king? I actually don't know the answer to that because I don't follow country all that well. But you did say you were going to ask me some good questions. I appreciate that. And going back to the SketchUp, yes, I use SketchUp. However, I only use it as very simple designs, as in I just use this for boxes really, and kind of just playing with shapes to kind of get a 3D visual. I did not use it for dimensional purposes. And the reason you don't use it for dimensional purposes is because everything during your build is going to change. That's actually why I don't sell blueprints for vans, because you change 1 inch here, 2 inches, 3 inches, whatever it may be. You change something very slightly, that throws off the entire van. And you can't sell a blueprint for a Transit and then try to use it for a ProMaster. The dimensions are different, the widths are different, the cavities and the walls are different. Same thing with Sprinter going to Transit, or ProMaster going to Sprinter, whatever it may be. Everything is a little bit different. The curves are different. So I actually don't like the people that try to sell blueprints. I would like to, but I almost would rather do a simple floor plan and say, okay, you give me, $300 or whatever it is, and I'll give you a general layout to what that you want to work with. And then you can use that as a kind of a template moving forward. Now, if you want to do that yourself, by all means, there's a free version of SketchUp. That's how I did mine. And you kind of build as you go in the van. And that's actually what I suggest to my clients. And now I'm suggesting it to you here. I think that is the way to go when it comes to designing a van three-dimensionally. Because you have to build so much on-site and scene, it's hard for really to designing it unless you're doing it one at a time, right? And that's why these van builders actually have like 4 templates, 5 templates, because every time Nomadic Customs builds a new van, they got to go out and do a whole new drawing. They have to whole new design for it. It's kind of a pain. I'm not going to lie to you. There was somebody else that I skipped down. I skipped down a bunch, guys, because I was trying to answer some of this stuff. What are you talking about here? What does GHOST stand for? GHOST stands for Ground Home Operation Self Transportation. Jason, what I'm talking about here is, I'd like to interact with my audience. I like to interact with my followers once a week. I come on here every Wednesday. I usually do a Q&A. Anybody that asks a decent enough question, I will try and repeat it, and then I'll answer it. I try to open up, anything for discussion. Sometimes we'll kind of BS back and forth with a bunch of random stuff like I did today with Blockbuster or other things. I answer anything that really throws my way. I don't try to go crazy. I just answered something about SketchUp. Matt B, I actually agree with you. Don't use VanSpace. I actually don't like it. It's kind of finicky. Anybody that's charging $20 for a design software is kind of what, really? What they do, you can do through SketchUp, honestly. Bernard, I am not a gamer. The reason I am not a gamer, my arm just fell off the armrest. Did you guys see that just now? The reason I'm not a gamer is because I would get addicted to that stuff. Oh my goodness, I would play that non-freaking stop. And I would get nothing done. It's already bad enough that I have too much on my plate. Imagine if I started playing, what is it, Call of Duty or any of that. I would just play nonstop. I'm also a competitive person, so I would compete like all heck. Do you think Netflix would be the same if Blockbuster hadn't bought it? I don't think Netflix bought Blockbuster. Did you watch the documentary? Because they were actually, Blockbuster was technically doing better than Netflix after the crash. What actually screwed up Blockbuster was the crash of 2008, and they had no money. Netflix had a bunch of money. Netflix, took off, and Blockbuster didn't. The documentary was kind of educational. It was actually I learned a lot from it. Okay, you know what's funny? I had a client earlier, and you brought this up. Am I saying this right? Sovereign. You're designing a 2500 ProMaster, and you taped off dimensions. That is probably the most used method. Is getting your floor there and then taping everything off on the floor. Everybody does that, or most people. Like I'd say 90% of people. Other people actually use cardboard and they like put up 3-dimensional shapes. I'm one of those weird people that I can actually. Um, I can actually see 3-dimensional things when I'm in a space. I walk into a room and I can actually picture furniture. I can picture things like that. I can go into a van and I can see how 3-dimensionally empty I can make it look. But the painter's tape is one of those things that, yeah, that's probably the easiest way and least expensive. There's nothing wrong with it. So, oh, you're in the living room. Oh, you do it in the living room. So the only reason why I don't like that, it's actually pretty good. It's a good idea. The dimensions are going to slightly be different, unless you got exact to the exact inch. Um, if you went to a van, like an actual van out of like a dealership, and you measured off the exact, here it is from behind the seat to this. But there's so many little nuances in a van. Just be careful that, or just at least have an open mind that things are going to change when you're in the space. When you're in the space, an inch is going to make a big difference, and it's going to change. I can promise you that. I can at least say that much. I'll give you an example. I thought in my ProMaster, I thought the cargo space, because this is what I found online, was like 12 feet or whatever. It was actually like 12 feet 6 inches, and I was like, oh my goodness, I didn't realize that. That might have been my Sprinter. One of those I remember was like 6 inches off because I don't know where they're measuring from. So it is a little bit different from what the internet gives you to what is actual dimensions. That sounds interesting. That's kind of like anything in life. The internet, it's kind of like how Instagram makes things look a lot prettier than they really are. Wow. Would you believe that one? Yeah, I kind of went hard on that one. Yes. How funny is that Instagram makes something look so pretty or makes something look so amazing or fun or amazing or whatever, and it's really not. It's really, really not. I appreciate you agreeing with me. Something random here. You went to Northeastern? Um, Sovereign, is the dimensions from Humble Road again? That's great. I actually, and George has been great. Sometimes he does pop on in my lives. Um, However, his dimensions might be slightly different than yours. So again, just keep that in mind when you're building out your van. Um, and that's going to sound weird. Like, how would his dimensions be different than mine? Well, like for example, I went right to the edge of where the door makes a curvature. Some people don't measure those last 4 inches, so they only measure up to where the floor ends. Well, if you shut the door, you actually have like 3 or 4 inches right there. So I went right to that. So there's really different ways that you could kind of the dimensions could be slightly off. Timothy, I haven't. You asked how much would it cost you for me to design a simple op, and I wanted to do this, and it's actually still on my website that I do offer this. However, I'm asking my website designer to take it down. I still want to do this. I want to do it in the future. I just haven't decided how much I would charge. It would be somewhere in the $300 range because of how many hours it takes me to kind of do that. And I wanted something a little more professionally done. So I'd actually have to use like a template from like SketchUp Pro is what I would buy. I would buy SketchUp Pro for like $800, and then I would start doing that. And I would probably charge around the $200 to $300 range, where I can it would probably take me like 2 to 3 hours to really design something. And I don't really want to charge more than $100 an hour. So I probably would do 1 or 2 for free, or maybe at a cheaper scale, and then I would go from there. But that's a one-off thing. By all means, you can shoot me an email, info@jaredtachi.com. I'll put it down here in the thingamajiggy. And when I get around to it, we can talk some more. When I get around to your email is what I mean. There you go. You go to my website if you want. as well. Somebody asked, were you there when they filmed Nomadland? No, I don't think I was because I would have been in the damn thing. And I wish I was in it because like I feel like I had a lot to contribute to that. But casting never called me. Casting never called me up. No, what happened was I'm guessing. I don't know how true this is. What I'm guessing, casting probably got a hold of because I actually come from the acting world. I'm assuming that whoever's running the casting for that probably reached out to Bob. And again, they were focusing a lot on older nomads. There were some younger people in there, but the casting was very specific from what I saw in the trailer. But they probably reached out to Bob Wells, and I think Bob actually put a lot of his friends in that film. Again, I want to see the film. I just have to be in my own space on that one because it looked like a very, very, very dark, film. Anybody can do van life. I'm not the only lucky one. Oh, you said not me. My niece just picked that college over yours. Northeastern is a great college, by the way. Like I said, nothing random to share. I brought it up. Northeastern's a really good school. Hey, Jared. Hey, that girl Elena. What is your opinion on a budget for a van versus budget for build ratio? Like the van is 10,000, so build should be only 5,000. I've heard a lot of different opinions. That's a great point. You know what? I can't because you're buying used if it's a $10,000 van. I'll give you an example. My Sprinter was about 45,000, maybe 50 out the door after taxes and everything else, but it was brand new. And the build without my discounts was roughly 50,000. So that's a 1-to-1 ratio. My first van was a little bit less expensive. It was about a $30,000, $32,000 ProMaster, and I think the build was about 12,000. So I did it a lot less. The used part compared to because it really, I would say your comfort is what's going to dictate your budget. In a $10,000 van, you may not want to put too much investment into it. However, your ROI, your return on your investment, will still be there. I don't think it's a bad thing to put a 1-to-1 ratio into a van. But a $5,000 van, you're going to get what you pay for. And it's going to be tough to have a lot of power. You may have to get one of those portable power stations. And it's going to be tough to have a heater. So unless you have like a propane heater, propane cooking, or using the little 1-pounders, then really that's what you got. What's up, Lauren? How you doing, man? I was just in town. I know I should have stopped by and seen. I just didn't have time, dude. I really didn't. Lauren's up in Portland. I apologize, buddy. Yes, Frankie Jr. SketchUp does have a free version of. And by the way, thank you people for free version. By the way, I appreciate everybody. Like, if I miss something, other people are commenting and really getting into the discussion. I appreciate that a lot. I did say at the beginning of the video, I'm under the weather right now, so I am going to be cutting this pretty darn quickly here. I'm already at 33 minutes, so I've got about another few more minutes of Solver, and I appreciate you coming over the whole thing. I got a couple more minutes before I hit a wall, and I need to go lie down and rest. The 3 days up in Portland were go, and I think that just took a lot out of me exhaustion wise. So can't do too much here, guys. I'm sorry. Dave, the Uber slave, he does say his van was 14,000 and his build was 25. I'm assuming 1,000, not $25. Kim, yeah, Blockbuster. What up? Can't go wrong with that. It's actually really comfy. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm sweating a little bit in it because it's kind of nice weather here, so I wanted to wear it just for the live. I've not worn this sweatshirt yet. I tried it on the first day I got up. That was about it. Yeah, I got to see Mark Lauren. I got to hang out with him, and it was really nice. I haven't seen him in months, so it was really good to kind of catch up with him. There are so many conversions in Portland. I need to start an Instagram account to keep track. Yeah, Frankie Jr. Tell me more about Buck SD's atmosphere water generation. How can it be done? Did you guys hear that? That technology actually has been around for long time. It's nothing new. It's pretty much water evaporation, creating condensation. I don't know how it's all going to work. I haven't really spoken much about it with him. From what I understand, it's a condensation method where it's going to drop into a tank, and he's going to put it through filters or some sort of UV sterilizing. And I think he may have said in his video, maybe I cut it out, but he's probably not going to use that water as potable water, not drinkable. He's probably going to use it for shower water or sink water. But for you to drink that water, he's probably not going to use it for that. But it's a cool concept. I like the idea of it. A dehumidifier. Yeah, it's something along those lines. Exactly what it is. It's a dehumidifier, for me, putting it in easier terms. Dave, the Uber Slate pointed out. Lauren, you have an ambulance. You said with my build, the ambulance, I spent $11,000 on the ambo. Okay. And I'm rounding $10K in the build. Gotcha. But that's a risk I'm on board with, and I'm good with the maintenance. By the way, I don't know if the people that follow. Oh, I didn't repost it. Somebody tagged me in a photo. My buddy's selling a. I think it's got to be. It's a 4x4 ambulance. Lauren, you'll appreciate this. 4x4 ambulance that has like a 10-foot height on the inside box. I think it's out in Texas for $30,000, and it's the big motor. It's a 7.3 Power Stroke diesel. That's like the most sought out after engine, and it's like 125,000 miles on it. Yeah, it's a really, really nice ambulance. If anybody has 30 grand lying around, of course, yours is a 7.3 liter. Why would it not be, Lauren? I hate you. Somebody asked if I was going to Tiny Fest. Yes, I am going to Tiny Fest. Go get some rest. Thank you, Sue. I appreciate it. Well, with that, I know I missed a lot of questions. I do apologize, and I'll blame my sickness for that. But I still felt like I need to come on here and interact with you guys and have a good time. Lauren, thank you for jumping on. Thank you for the ones that have stayed on with me the whole time. Matt B, I know you're here for a while. Dave, you always come on as well. I appreciate it. Frankie Jr., you've been here the whole time. I appreciate it. Thank you, Kim. I will try and feel better as quick as I can. I know that she signed off, but I think it was Sovereign. She was on here for a bit. Thank you very much. I definitely missed a lot of comments and questions. I apologize, but I'll be here again live next Wednesday. Oh my goodness, am I leaving that day? Am I really leaving in a week? I'll check my calendar real quick. Hold on. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh crap. I'm probably going to be on the road. Holy crap, I'm leaving in a week. Whew. I got a lot to do in a week. I'm probably gonna hit the road early Wednesday morning. That makes sense. I might leave early Wednesday morning, and then I'm headed out to Utah and then Tiny Fest. As you guys call it, I just kind of got, oh my goodness, all that crap just hit me all at once. So you guys may see a live on the road next week. How do you guys like that? Is that cool with you guys? Anyways, check out some other videos, and if you have any more questions, please comment. I will try and answer all my comments in the very near future. And I will talk to you soon. Later.